Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Now at 6, Governor Ned Lamont has declared a state of emergency because of critical fire weather conditions. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Bridget Biorlo. Less than an hour ago, Deep and emergency management officials gave an update on the conditions as people head into a gorgeous but very dry fall weekend. Officials are reminding all of us tonight to be mindful and not make matters worse.
We really need the public's help to prevent more fires from igniting elsewhere in the state. 9 out of 10 wildland fires are caused by human activity. So going into this gorgeous weekend, we really need folks to be very mindful about not contributing to the outbreak of new fires.
Since Monday night, first responders have been working around the clock, and tonight we're getting a closer look at how they're doing it.
Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc is at the command center in Berlin with the very latest.
4 full days of operations here in Berlin, and crews tell us they are certainly tired after working sunup to sundown. However, they say there is high morale and they are motivated to do whatever they can to put the flames out.
Good work out there. Thank you.
On day 4 of full force operations to contain the Hawthorne brush fire.
We got a lot of good work in here yesterday.
Dozens of crew members from Connecticut and beyond started the day getting their bearings on what happened overnight.
The fire picked up. It's working down south a little bit more. We're aware of it, and the air resources are concentrating on that area.
On Thursday, Berlin's fire chief says the fire moved more into Meriden, but still no major concern for neighbors there. But a few things are getting in the way, like outside drone operators, hikers, and people riding ATVs on and near the mountain.
The startup time on an aircraft is 30 to 40 minutes. So, we have 4 or 5 incursions. We're losing over 2 hours that we can be dropping water on the ground.
So right now you're looking at a counter UAS system, which we're detecting drones in the area.
There's a whole crew with the Connecticut State Police dedicated to stopping this reckless behavior.
Once we get the detection, once the operator turns a controller or a drone on, we get the indication on the screen here. And with the help of local law enforcement and CSP, we have the coordinates where the operator is.
All as the Connecticut National Guard uses all the time it has to drop hundreds of thousands of gallons of water on the fire.
It dies down and it rises up again, so we're just trying to get on top of it.
And small signs of hope.
Look at the helicopter over there.
Continue to motivate them to move forward. We are learning from state leaders that this will be an active site here for quite some time as they are waiting for rain to help them out. In the meantime, we're also waiting for an update on the cause of this fire. Officials say they will have that answer for us soon. We are in Berlin. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Julia, thank you. And our team is committed to following this fire until it's out. So stay with us on air, online, and streaming 24/7 on Fox 61 Plus for updates.
Funeral services begin this weekend for the Wethersfield firefighter who died in a crash while responding to the brush fire. Visitation for Robert Sharkovich Sr. will begin Sunday afternoon at Farley Sullivan Funeral Home in Wethersfield. The funeral then will be Monday morning at the Cathedral of St. Joseph in Hartford. Sharkovich was known to many as Sharky. He served in Hartford for 24 years before joining the Wethersfield Volunteer Fire Department.
Let's get a check on our forecast now. Rachel Frank standing by. A cool start to the weekend.
Yeah, cool, but still, Rachel, it feels really warm out there, and we certainly know it's dry.
Yeah, it's dry. We have no rain on the way, so we have a really nice weekend for outdoor plans and activities, but the fire weather risk actually increases. Why? Because the breeze returns. We actually had a little bit of a break from the gusty wind outside today, but it returns tomorrow, especially as we head through the afternoon, and we know that can only fan the flames. But we're going to be talking about this elevated risk for brush fires right into this time next week with no rain in sight. But for this week, weekend. It is dry, and it will be cooler for the second half of the weekend on Sunday. Right now, we're looking at temperatures that have been cooler than they have at any point during the week so far. Highs in the 50s to right around 60 degrees, anywhere between 4 to 11 degrees cooler than this exact time yesterday. If you're doing anything tonight, maybe walking the dog, going out to dinner, the weather cooperating with all of your plans. We're near 50 degrees at 9 p.m. and we'll see overnight lows right around 40 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. Upper 30s for some of our cooler spots and a bit milder towards the shoreline, where highs will be in the middle to upper 40s. Heading through the day tomorrow, though, bright. We'll see highs in the mid to upper 60s. We're looking at 66 in Wallingford, 64 for a high temperature in Griswold, and let's look at New Britain with a high of 64 degrees tomorrow. On Sunday, those temps will tumble. We're in the 50s to start off next week, but that chill is not going to last. We've got a Halloween treat in store. We'll explain coming up.
All right, like the sound of that, Rachel, thank you. A man from the Bronx has been found guilty of murder in a shooting that happened in Waterbury back a few years ago. Jerome Phillips killed 25-year-old James Smith back in May of 2021 while Smith was moving into an apartment on Chestnut Street. Police say Phillips snuck up and shot Smith in the head. Phillips is due for sentencing on January 16th.
West Haven police are searching for the driver who hit and killed a person on a scooter. This happened at the intersection of First and Mixed Avenues around 7:30 last night. A witness told police the driver of the car took off on I-95. The identity of the victim has not been released. Anyone with information should contact West Haven police.
And we've been following early voting here in Connecticut all week long. Since polls opened on Monday, nearly 210,000 voters have already cast their ballots statewide.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolforst has been tracking this. She joins us now in studio with what we know. Emma.
Sarah, Bridget, you may have seen some of those long first day lines as more than 56,000 people showed up across the state just on Monday to vote early. While crowds have died down and waits have shortened, election officials tell me enthusiasm is still high, and now some concerns about whether this high turnout might be a strain on the state's poll workers. Friday morning, Governor Ned Lamont finally cast his ballot. He tried to vote early Monday, but long first-day lines caused him to leave.
I thought it was a grade A problem when there were so many people here. I came on the very first day. It was a 50-minute wait, but today it's a 5-minute wait. Take advantage of it. It's really convenient.
The governor is one of 210,000 residents who already voted across the state in Connecticut's first general election with early voting.
It has been crazy in the best of ways, I'm very happy to say.
The town of Darien has seen more than 2,000 voters in the first 5 days. Deputy Registrar Corey Freight says that's about 13% of the town's registered voters.
People are very grateful for the work that we're doing, very grateful for our poll workers.
One difference between election day voting and early voting, voters won't run their ballot through the tabulator machine right after they fill it out. Instead, they put it inside a sealed and signed envelope and into a secure ballot box. This is because none of these votes will be counted until Election Day, November 5th.
Not counting those ballots right away through a tabulator is for the security of those voters. It ensures that we do not have an active running tabulator in the poll site for 14 days straight over weekends and overnights.
There are some concerns, though, about the sheer number of ballots election workers will be tasked with opening on November 5th. Friday afternoon, state Senate Democratic leadership sent this letter to the Secretary of the State's office, writing local registrars of voters will be inundated with opening and counting early ballots on Election Day. They added, "We believe it is of the utmost importance your office be prepared to offer any and all assistance and guidance to local registrars." They asked the Secretary's office to respond with a plan.
I certainly won't lie, it's daunting. Towns and registrars can always use more resources and support, but we are keeping an eye on these ballot numbers and doing some mental math based on the past experiences of our counters and our expectations of how quickly we can process on Election Day. We will stay as long as it needs. We will recruit as much manpower as we need and train as many poll workers as we need to ensure that the election is counted in a timely, orderly, and legal manner.
And if you haven't already taken advantage of early voting just yet, you still have a whole week left to do so, or you can always vote, as always, on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th. In the studio, Emma Wolforce, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Can't believe it's only a little over a week away. All right, Emma, thank you. Alex Jones is fighting to keep his personal social media accounts from being sold off in the upcoming auction of InfoWars to pay the $1 billion he owes to Sandy Hook families. Today in Houston, the trustee overseeing the liquidation asked a federal judge to include those accounts in the sell-off. Lawyers for Jones claim that would violate his privacy and deny the conspiracy theorists a chance to make a comeback after bankruptcy. The judge scheduled a hearing for next week. We'll be watching it.
What does it take to be a member of the National Guard?
Members of our Fox 61 team got a crash course this morning and certainly were put to work. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in Hartford with the details.
It's boot camp day at the CT National Guard. From military push-ups to building a radio, even rock climbing, our Fox 61 crew got an inside look on what it takes to be a member of the National Guard. Members of the CT National Guard are showing off their skills and putting media members across the state to the test. How many military-style push-ups can you do in 12 minutes, and how fast can you build a radio? These activities are just a small snippet of what it takes to be a member of the CT National Guard.
It's important because we are from the community, so we live in the community with each and every one of you here. And you might not know what we do on a daily basis.
Officials want the community to get a better look at what they do and maybe even inspire more people to join.
Joining the Connecticut Army National Guard was the best decision I made for my life, financially, education, benefits-wise. If you're interested, give us a call. We'll answer any questions that you have, and it really was truly the best decision I ever made.
Our Fox 61 team will certainly be sore tomorrow, that's for sure. Now, anyone interested in learning more about the CT National Guard and even maybe joining can learn more on our website, fox61.com. In Hartford, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.